Alrighty guys, we're back for Mono Black Skeletons, and this is an Edge of Eternities Standard Brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some Ranked. But first things first, we built this together over on the Twitch channel. Nice. What do we got in here? Well, Corpses of the Lost, of course, making the cut as a 4 of, giving our Skelly Bellies haste is very important. Skelly Bellies like Case of the Stash Skeletons, the token comes in suspected. The menace really comes in handy. Unfortunately, it can't block, and chump blockers also really come in handy, huh? Forsaken Miner also making the cut. Very powerful skeleton. Again, unfortunately, it can't block. We really are trying to do the aggressive thing here anyway, so hopefully that doesn't come up too often. Tinybones can block though. A couple of these packed in. Pretty good Skelly Belly, huh? So we do have creatures in here that aren't skeletons, but also just fitting the aggro theme. We got 4 Timeline Cullers and all 4 Sunset Saboteurs as well. So yeah, we'll see how much these do today. Again, Menace, of course, really comes in handy, doesn't it? And then the Ward discard a card is actually really good on the Saboteur too. So yep, we'll see. Got a Sephiroth here on the top end, a little bit of card draw, a little bit of a value creature. It's not terrible to pop a Timeline Culler or a Forsaken Miner to the Sephiroth, so we'll see how much this does today as a one of. Archenemy's Charm for some good utility and removal. We have all 4 Bitter Triumph as our choice spot removal, and we have ways to interact with the opponent's hand with all 4 Duress, rarely missing, and then a couple Intimidation Tactics as well. Oh, more removal with all 4 stabs too, so yeah, we'll see if we landed on something good with all the removal. Now, in the mana base, 21 total mana should be fine and dandy, and a Soulstone Sanctuary making the cut as an honorable skeleton. Now, how about the honorable mentions? All these cards we thought about. Bloodghast could have made the cut. Cruel Claws Heist could have made the cut. And Deep Cavern Bat would be pretty good in here. Even more hand interruption with the Duress and the tactics, but then also making it even harder for them to pay the ward cost on the Sunset Saboteur as well. So, all right, guys, I do my dandiest to just save the in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some Ranked, see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. Heck yeah, we do. What am I expecting from the build? I think it's going to be pretty strong. I think we landed on something, guys, but we'll see. See what we can showcase here. Do you have a way to take a Tifa out of the opponent's hand, right? But this is pretty slow for what the deck list is trying to do. I'm going to keep it because I do think it would be a strange mulligan, and we have so much to draw into. I'm going to skip the turn 1 tactics. We're just going to go right into Tinybones. If we went second, I think I'd go tactics right away, especially depending on what they play over there. Windswept Bastion is most often what we see in Kona deck lists, so we could go right into the tactics this turn. Start with the swing, Intimidation Tactics, take the Kona out of their hand. Let's see what they're playing. Oh, Day of Judgment, Ultima. Oh, crap, dude. Oh, crap. Honestly, they can keep the voice. Maze Mind Tome's probably a bigger problem because Bitter Triumph for the voice, right? Bitter Triumph can't hit the Maze Mind. That's a very good utility piece for mono white mid-range, I'm guessing. I was going to say mono white control, but mid-range. Mid-range / control. I don't know, man. I don't know what to call him. Mono white's definitely a problem, though. Alright, voice comes down. We don't accept that trade, so we do want to pop it beforehand. Archenemy's Charm's pretty good. I think we can just get, well, yeah, we can get the Soulstone Sanctuary down, I suppose. Yeah, we could have held it too for one more turn. Pay the 3 gladly, probably. Yeah, this is fine. Totally fine. I don't know if we're pushing this fast enough, guys, but We didn't have 2 mana for the voice. That could be pretty good, though. A great way to get... Oh, we might actually do that, actually. Yeah. Oh, Case of the Stashed Skeleton. Very nice. We're 1 mana short from powering up Sanctuary, getting that swing, too, but... Haste doesn't have haste. Let's do this, man. Tinybones, get me that voice. Let's do it. I'm going to save the Case because they'd have the board wipe ready if they find mana. So, well, even if they... Yep, we got to play around the board wipe. Keep the Bitter Triumph open. That's much better here, right? I think so. Yeah, if they miss mana, great news. And if they missed mana and we played the Case of the Stashed Skeleton, that would have been better news, but also very risky. Yeah, there's the 4th. I think this is definitely a worthwhile 2-for-1. So, thank goodness we played around that. Number 1, we knew it was in their hand, but... Alright, so... Reestablish. There's a higher chance of them missing their 5th, so... The Ultimate does destroy. So eventually we can bring back the Forsaken. The Archenemy's Charm does deal with Elspeth when it comes time. This is very much an Elspeth style deck list. So even if we can't get a good swing on it, we can still exile it with the Charm. Yeah, if I would have dropped the mulligan for the hand, guys, we could have found a much faster hand and maybe have prevented the opponent from getting this far into the mid game, but calling this the mid game is completely silly, right? They're just 1 land away from their 5th at this point, and they haven't missed yet, so... But it kinda is. Kinda is the mid game, isn't it? Halia for 3. Nice. Okay, so saving the Ultima, but luckily, Menace does get around the Halia. Plus, we got so much removal, too. We should probably just Bitter Triumph, take the 3. Powering up the Soulstone Sanctuary needs to be a last... Like, the very last thing we do to push the last bit of damage through because of all the board wipes. And... we know they have Ultima, and we know that they have just more board wipes to draw in the deck list, too, so... Now, Archenemy's Charm, since they missed the 5th, we could still have, like, a really neat combat trick here to get rid of the Halia, which could be really good onto the Forsaken Miner. Save the Sunset Saboteur for when they, after they drop the Ultima. Is it really worthwhile having a combat trick versus the Halia? You know what? Probably, because if they take the damage, great. We still have Bitter Triumph open for the Halia. If they do go for the block here into the Forsaken Miner, also great because we have Archenemy's Charm. So we just got a lot of options here. Even if it is just a Bitter Triumph for the turn, we probably don't play the Sunset because they do have that Ultima. They do go for the block. We go for the Charm for sure. Pretty good, man. We go back up to 21. Now we pretty much guarantee we can pay the 3 when it comes for the Bitter Triumph. Also, guys, Bitter Triumph hits Planeswalkers too. So that also deals with Elspeth. I was just completely overlooking that for a moment there. Another Hylia comes down. Really good for the opponent, I would say. Because they do gain that 1 immediately, and it still blocks pretty well into the Forsaken Miner. It's a good chump blocker at this point. However, they would have much preferred some token generation for the Caretaker's talent. So luckily, the opponent is stuck between a rock and the hard place, and the hard place is their deck list right now, right? They're playing around their own deck list. Huzzah! It's good news when you're up against mono white mid range. Still, it's still a good good creature for them to have. As a matter of fact, they might as well take the 6, keep the Halia around. Duress. Wow. Hey, all 4 of them for a very good reason. Yep, we do that. I'm getting a lot of like mouse lag today for some reason. Oh, another Caretaker's talent. Ew. No, it's got to be Ultimate. Hello? Ultimate? There we go. And that second Caretaker's talent's scary too, though. But, I mean, come on. It's got to be. Yep. Because now we can actually establish the Sunset, too. Let's see what they do with this swing. I don't think they're going to chump. I do think they're going to go down to 11. Because Halia has a chance of gaining a lot more life back. Because they can play the Dollmaker's Shop for 2. Swing with Halia. Actually, that's way too good to let them keep. Right? Swing. Get a toy. Gain life on the Halia. Copy with Caretaker's talent. They also draw on the talent too from the shop. The copy gains them more too. Unfortunately, I'd love to get the Sunset Saboteur down, but I'm pretty sure we got to take care of this life gain. I'll do it now too before they draw something fancy. Like recently we saw a control deck playing with Restoration Magic, which is actually just a really good idea in the right control deck list, right? Because of course control can easily pay the extra tiers on the Restoration Magic, so if you actually care about having creatures, it's a good addition. I liked that a lot when the opponent played it, but it was so surprising. Honestly, mono white mid-range with like going the token route, I could totally see a Restoration Magic or two making the cut. Yeah, right now, mana off the top could power up Sanctuary, and we'll have 9 on the board. That's not quite enough. The better thing would be Corpses of the Lost on top, as it boosts the board state to 8 and gives us the 3/2 haste, which would be 11. And right now, if the opponent doesn't have a chump blocker, Corpses of the Lost would end the game, guys. I mean, they gotta have something, right? What a draw, dude. Wow. Wow. I mean, sometimes the game just decides it's your turn to win, huh? Very nice. I'll take it. I'll take the victories all day. They're always very hard to come by, and they're usually not that clean. Good stuff. I guess number one, I guess it wasn't really clean early game, right? We were very slow in the early game, and I could have mulliganed to find something faster, but I guess it's a good thing we didn't mulligan. If we found something faster, maybe we would have been obliterated by all the board wipes. Alright, the opponent goes first. Couple Corpses of the Lost. Sunset Saboteur. I like it. Yeah. Couple corpses. But I feel like I'd be much more confident with this hand if we went first. Yeah, I think so. Let's see what the opponent could do here. They do drop the mulligan down to 6. Fire Bluff. Oh, Mako. Okay. Okay. That's usually in VV deck lists, so we might be in danger. You know what? Doing the aggro thing, let's take the 2. And they'll take the 2. I mean, I would have loved that chump block there too. That would have been really good for us, right? But yeah, Mako usually in VV, right? Hunting Riddle there. Okay, nice. Just go for the card draw for the turn. My face. Intimidation Tactics. Wow. Guys, I feel like we should probably do that, even though it's so slow. Because they're about to have their 3rd next turn. We have Archenemy's Charm, though. Alright, let's stick to it. Let's stick to we are an aggro deck list. Get the Saboteur down and established, and see if we can start getting a nice menacing swing each turn. 3rd mana and regret our decisions. Let's see, let's see. Oh, Glacial Dragon Hunt. Okay. So Mako also makes it into some mini reanimator builds too. It looks like they got the Winter Night Stories. But usually it's not Mini Reanimator nowadays. Usually it's VV. Cauldron, right? I'm sad. My Saboteur. Forsaken Miner's really good. Now we are already at 14 here just from the Mako. But with life gain on the Charm, there's potential. 2 corpses, extra mana off the top would be really good too. Alright guys, we're going to risk it. We're going to push the aggro, especially with the Charm in hand. See what we can get done here. Now with Winter Night Stories and the Harmonize on the Dragon Hunt, I don't think our 3-2 survives, but we might have lasted the turn if the Mako is tapped down. There's a lot of great ways for them to boost this Mako. It's going to be Winter Night Stories tapped down. Okay, nice. This gives them 2 mana open still. It's good news because our 3-2 sticks around, and they don't know we're about to give it the boost. And like I said, mana off the top would be significant because then we got the Forsaken Miner coming in for a good swing too. Proph's Eidetic Memory pretty much telling us we have to keep a chump blocker next turn, right? It's a 9/9 now. Wow, we do find the mana here. Oh man. But look at the opponent's board. What are the odds of us dying? Pretty high, right? I think so. Timeline Culler can be a good blocker. They have and what are the odds? How do we survive? I suppose we have Collar as a blocker, swing for 3. We try to win on next turn's backswing. We go down to 12. Other corpse boost. 4, 3. No, that's only 11 on the backswing after the chump with the Collar. If we successfully chump with the Collar. So we can't do the aggro thing this turn. We are going to go Intimidation Tactics to just peer into their hand and make our decisions then. Ursa, and there's a Dragon Hunt. Yep, they're ready to go to remove the 1 chump blocker that we have, so we can't swing this turn. Cauldron's also a problem too. But Tursa is pretty aggressive and boosts the Mako. Without the VV, I think it's safe to go Light Shatterer just to try to survive. It does exile too, which is really good. I'm going to use that one timer, guys. Make sure I'm doing this correctly. Number 1, Collar needs to come down as we need 2 chump blockers on the board state. They don't have extra card draw for the Mako. There is a chance, guys. There is a chance that we don't need the chump. Swing for 6, win on the backswing. If they pop here, draw, discard. Mako's the problem, right? Mako getting the boost and the Eidetic Memory getting the boost. There's still a chance that they top deck perfect. Yeah. Yeah, we gotta keep 2 blockers. I'm trying to play it safe, but also, I don't know. It's really, really hard. Because if they top deck... Oh, Steam Core Scholar is really good. Draw 2, discard, and Mako gets the boost of 2 up to 11, and then Proph's Eidetic Memory gets them the boost up to... Oh, they only discard 1 off the Scholar because they decided to... Let's discard 2 unless they discard an instant or sorcery. They go for the swing with the Mako. I guess they didn't get the boost on the Eidetic Memory? Oh, they put it on the Scholar. Oh, nice play, opponent. Yeah. So, with Timeline Culler coming back from the grave, it's a perfect chump, and we should take it while we have it, right? Instead of taking the 10. If we keep it on the board, they'll still have a blocker, and they're still at 12. Archenemy's Charm can take care of the Scholar when it comes time. They still got 2 unknowns that we don't know about. This is going to be a tough game, guys. This is definitely going to be a rough one to think through. Now we could try to swing with the Forsaken Miner. I think they just take the 3, but we could have a really good combat trick here with the Charm. Then also, Color Warp down to 12 could also be an alright combat trick, and keeping the Forsaken Miner to slip the 3 through then at the same time. I think that the life gain on the Archenemy's Charm could keep us around for the extra turn too. I doubt they take it. The exile for the Scholar could be even better here. Okay, so we keep our chump blocker. We swing with Forsaken Miner and see what they do here. They're thinking about it. Yep. They're going to take it. Right, so the exile on the charm is a little bit better. We're probably going to have to exile the Mako. It's a little sketchy to keep open charm instead of just doing it now, but I'm going to try to keep it open at the instant speed for whatever they target with the memory. And I hope that's okay. I hope they miss the counterspell. It's all a little risky at this point in the game, guys, so just going to try to get a little bit of extra value out of the charm at the instant speed. It does look like they are going to go for popping R1. Oh, fear of missing out first. Right. They get rid of the Soul Cauldron here. Mako goes up to 11. 2 cards in hand that we don't know about. Tursa, wow, good draw, opponent. Oh, dude, we're in so much danger because now winning on the backswing is close to impossible with all the extra creatures that they have on the board. Mako goes up to a 12-12. Still probably, like, we can chump that, right? We can't chump the Scholar, but Tursa is actually the one getting the boost. Wow, I think we're just, like, super out of this, right? However, we have the Tursa block. No, that would be terrible, right? I was gonna say Tursa block with the lifelink could be okay. Yeah, we have the chump. We can pop the Scholar, but popping the Tursa is probably a little better. No, Scholar has the Vigilance. The problem is they're at 9 too. This, I mean, wow. There's like almost nothing that we can do, but we're gonna do our best either way. And we're gonna chump the Mako. We're gonna take the Scholar out of the air. Now they have a fear of missing out. And being at 9, even if we see... even if we see mana off the top with the other corpses in the case of the stash, they still have fear of missing out to chump. So we don't have a chump blocker for the Mako next turn unless we do play the corpses of the lost. So I guess that's what we do. But then they easily take it out with the Dragon Hunt. So I think that's game. So let's go for the fun swing then with the case menacing Skelly Belly actually getting through. And then we'll have Timeline Culler back. We'll go down to 7 since we're pretty much dead. We go for the fun swing. And it's a good swing too. That's 8 damage on the board and they're at 9. They do go for the block, which gives us the stab as well. Which is really nice. Yeah, good game, opponent. I think that that could have been anyone's pretty easily, right? I think if they missed that creature, for example... I guess the other corpses, only at 4 mana too. Drop the opponent the GGs here as well. And Archenemy's Charm, being a utility card, makes it pretty hard to know when is it actually the best to play it. If we would have taken care of the Mako, we wouldn't have had the fun swing last turn either. Because their Scholar has Vigilance. Yeah. I mean, they didn't even see the VV, guys. And Soul Cauldron's in there, so we know VV's hiding in the deck list somewhere, right? So, that was a good one, man. We totally showcased something there, too. Let's keep the ball rolling. Definitely have time for a couple more games, right? Yeah, for some reason today, I don't know if I gotta restart my PC or something, but I've been getting mouse lag. Just like every now and then, my mouse is jumping across the screen. Might be the game too, I suppose. There was, I guess, an update this week, so I don't know exactly what they updated. Good stuff, man. I wish we went first here. This would be a much better hand if we went first, but it's still good. Ooh, nice. Third on time. Taking care of the Grease Wrench Goblin could be good, but I'm just going to establish my little aggressive creature too. Now, Grease Wrench in... Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. uh, right. We probably shouldn't take the turn for setup, but boy, I want to. Again, going first here, that would have been beautiful. The show-off is a problem, guys. If we let them keep that open with protection, it's just, like, over. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have to, like, take the turn to pop the show-off before they have protection open. And Forsaken Miner can't block, so we definitely take that swing. It's an awkward turn, man, but I think it's the right play. Get the Slickshot show-off off the board before we just die all of a sudden. It looks like we slowed down their turn significantly, which is great news, guys. Let's go ahead, peer into the opponent's hand and see if we would have died. See what they got here. No, they missed their third, so I guess it still would have been unlikely. Go ahead and use the Lightning Helix before we rip it out of their hand, which is probably good. Oh, crap, dude. Wow. Double Nemesis is a problem. We do have one Bitter Triumph for one of them. Hopefully they miss the mana because we're already at 12. We get them down to 19 here. So Boros Burn with Slickshot Show-Off. Looking good. I like it, opponent. Let's see if they find that third mana. Oh, Sheltered by Ghost, guys. That's not good. Discard one of the Screaming Nemesis, but now we'll have the other... No, they discard the Burst Lightning. Oh, okay. Okay. Right. So... Sheltered by Ghost was a really good draw. So good, in fact, I think that would have been the target for Duress. And we would have let them keep the double Burst Lightnings. We're in danger. We really, really are. We still have the swing on the Forsaken Miner. And we have Bitter Triumph open to deal with Screaming Nemesis #1. And I will take that trade into the Grease Wrench Goblin all day. So I really hope they do find their third. Here comes Nemesis #1. And we really don't want to take the 3 here. Let's see a full swing. No, just the Nemesis. Even though, yeah, the life gain on the Goblin and everything. Going down to 6 is super sketchy versus Burn. But losing the 1 card in our hand is also super sketchy. We can't go down to 6. It's rough business, man. But we're going to discard the corpses of the last. Nice. Case of the Stash Skeleton's pretty good. The extra menace and everything's fantastic, but we still have to deal with the Screaming Nemesis when it comes time. The Soulstone Sanctuary is a good blocker. Saboteur just boosts the Goblin. They get the life back anyways. So I accept this trade all day. I should have swung first. I'm sorry, guys. I got a little hasty with my Case of the Stash Skeletons. Screaming Nemesis #2, and I think there's a good reason that the opponent did not send that. They sent the Burst Lightning instead. Now, 1 card in their hand. If we go ahead and accept this trade, we go down to 5. Then no life gain. So if we see like Archenemy's Charm, going down to 5, but the Nemesis is gone. Or we take 3 now, 3 next turn, 3 next turn. Die that way. Saboteur, not doing too much. If we would have just accepted... I don't know. I think we're stuck between a rock and a hard place, guys. I do. It's gonna be a rough uphill battle. Either way, we accept the trade this time round, since the Saboteur isn't doing too much anyways. Nice. We do have mana to power up the Sanctuary, which is really good. And again, I accept that trade all day, so I do think they take the 4, and I think I will accept the trade into Sanctuary too. So hopefully they miss. Soulstone Sanctuary could have swung, actually, guys, because it has Vigilance. I completely overlooked that, and it was already established on the board. So we could have pushed 3. Hopefully it doesn't come down to that 3. Yep, we totally could have pushed the 3. Thanks to the Vigilance. Boros Charm. Nice, opponent. Wow. really good top deck for them. I'm scared. Right. Let's go for the swing. Down to 11. This would be a good Sephiroth game, actually, right? And Timeline Culler as a blocker. They do go for the exhaust on the Grease Wrench Goblin. It's only one counter, so the Collar still blocks really well here. Let's see what they find here on top. They've been drawing really well so far. I'm a little bit concerned. No matter what, we got to get that lifelink off the board so we can actually start pushing this damage. Yeah, guys, don't overlook the Vigilance on the Soulstone Sanctuary. Very good land, isn't it? In a lot of different builds. Of course, we see it most often in the Demon deck lists, I would say. I think Sephiroth would be... Well, we won't get any life gain off of Sephiroth since we accepted that trade into Nemesis earlier. So, with another Timeline Culler, we could try to push, since this is at 4, we could try to push the 6 and then play this as the chump blocker. They find burn. Realistically, they probably just want to hit our face with the burn anyways, right? So they find 2 pieces of burn. Still, we're at 5, so they still just want to hit our face. So it's not like we're playing around removal. The removal in a burn deck list is burn, so they just really want to hit our face. Totally fine here. See what Timeline Culler can get up to. They got 2 cards in hand that we don't know about. It's gonna be Grease Wrench Goblin. Nice. Okay, okay, guys. We can get there. We really, really can. We have Menace for pushing 2 on the Skelly Belly. Archenemy's Charm. Guys, that's game. Wow. We can't target the one with Ward 2, but that's really good. We push 6 through. No, it's not game. Whew. Hold on. Lifelink happens first. Hold on. Give me 1 second, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. I already messed up earlier with the Soulstone. I don't want to mess up here at the end. Right. So it'd be great if we could actually pay that Ward 2 on the Grease Wrench. They're going to go back up to 9 is the big problem here. So if we just go full swing, they're forced into a block somewhere. With this Grease Wrench Goblin, maybe the Saboteur can happen. We have to remember that the extra counters on the Charm, we won't get any life gain from this lifelink. But also, we would have died to that Screaming Nemesis by now too, so a few turns ago, actually. So we keep the Archenemy's Charm for a different surprise, I suppose. They do end up blocking with both here, maybe? We go back up to 9. We could push 6 with the counter. We could keep a Collar on the board. Or we could keep it as removal, play the Saboteur for the turn. 4. Okay. Letting the Collars both hit the grave is fine. They go back up to 5. Collar back on the I'm sorry, Saboteur back on the board, and then we have the Timeline Collars if we're allowed paying the 3, and we're going to keep the Archenemy's Charm to exile something like a Screaming Nemesis if they find their 3rd one. Emberheart Challenger, yep. See what's left in their hand. Priority has passed back, guys. I'm going to take this now. I'm on the edge of my seat. I really am. See, in this scenario, that 3 damage that I missed earlier hasn't come in handy yet. They'd be at 2. We'd be a little bit more comfortable here. GG opponent. Nice. Okay, thank goodness, man. So the Soulstone swing didn't end up mattering. What we ended up doing was just having good value versus burn. While they ripped a lot of great stuff off the top early. But thank goodness they missed for a few turns. And I don't know if you even want to count that as missing because it was still some pretty good draws overall. As we're 34 minutes in, we're going to try to push one more because I think the games are a decent length overall. Also, it looks like if I can just finish 4 more lands in that last game, then I won't have to do any extra to get the quest done for today, but we'll see, we'll see. With this deck list, I suppose at 21 mana, we've hit that 4th land very often in these matches, haven't we? Nice. Opponent goes first, unfortunately, guys. Holy cow. But we'll keep this. Gruul colors, yes. Bring it on, opponent. Versus Gruul, I'm going to skip the Duress. Let's get that Tinybones established. Alright. Forsaken Miner tells me all I need to know. Let's dig into the opponent's hand. Delirium? No. What is this, guys? Ouroboros, Hellkite, Cindermaw, Screaming Nemesis. Dude, what is this? Duress missed, guys. I can't believe it. Wow. Also, we're just like in so much danger. Do we keep Tinybones as a chump blocker? No, we don't need to block the Nemesis this early. But we are going to be in significant danger. Wow, they actually just start with Hellkite to pop the Tinybones. Okay. I agree with that, opponent. That was a good play. I would have just played Nemesis because it's just such a problem card for everyone all the time. But that makes a lot of sense. Get the Tinybones off the board. It was a good play for sure. Stab does not hit the Nemesis. But I don't know what the opponent's doing, so I don't know what to play around. But we're trying to do the aggro thing, so that's what we're going to stick to. Bring it on, opponent. I'm excited to see more of their deck list, too. There's the Nemesis. 4th mana is going to be Scryland. Probably good news, right? They're ready for the Ouroboros next turn. They keep it as a blocker, which is brutal, actually. But Menace does get through. With the extra collars and everything, we could hit with a collar. 2 damage to the Forsaken Miner. They probably don't want to hit the Saboteur. Yeah, guys? What do we do here? The Screaming Nemesis is such a problem, man. Maybe we do the stab for the turn. Get the Nemesis off the board. They clean up a little bit on the board state, but I guess let them, because we have to clean up the Nemesis, right? It's kind of, yeah, it's a problem. So 1-2, if we wait for the last moment, I guess it's a little better here, right? We get the 6 through down to 9. See what they target. The Saboteur. So they do want to go for the discard then, it appears. I guess the land is a good discard. We'll let them discard first, and then stab will be a little surprise here. Like no more Nemesis type of surprise. They go for the Cindermaw. Nice. Alright. And then there's nothing left for them to do for the turn, so we can go ahead and stab the Screaming Nemesis. Good stuff, opponent. I think the Ouroboros comes down, and then we're really in desperate need to find more of our removal. All 4 Bitter Triumphs for a very good reason. Nice. Llanowar Elves was great too, because that also gets the boost. Bitter Triumph off the top, guys. Wow. Wow. I guess we discard a card. We do this all right now because we want the swing too. Ow, my face. But ow, the opponent's face. I think they take this chump or trade. I think they should. They do have 5 for the Nova Hellkite, which is a problem, man. I mean, just the opponent's... You know what the opponent's playing? This is like Gruul mid-range, right? Gruul beatdown or something. This is cool. I really like the opponent's deck list. This stays as a chump blocker. No, not a chump blocker. Listen to me, guys. That stays as a good blocker. So we can push 6 damage this turn if we take 4. They could win on the backswing pretty easily depending on what else is in their deck list. But guys, it's like I've been saying this whole time. We're doing the aggro thing. Ow, my face. Ow, my face. Go, go, go. Bring it on, opponent. I'm excited to see what they get here off the top. Second Hellkite ends the game. Screaming Nemesis with some form of burn ends the game. Well, any other hasty creature with some form of burn. It's going to be land and... What you got for me, opponent? What you got for me? It's an overprotect. Wow, very nice. Very nice. Down to 1 GG opponent. And Sephiroth. Wow, our one of Sephiroth would have been pretty good this game, I would say. Although just pushing all the extra Timeline Culler damage was even better, right? So good stuff, man. Really cool decklist opponent. Massive props for just playing something different. For real. Guys, let's go talk about this decklist. Fun time. And there we go. We did actually play 4 lands too, so that's really nice. Oh, man. Guys, Mono Black Skelebellies. Now, I don't think there's any skeletons coming in the next set, so this is also a decent one to play right before the next set releases. What do you guys think from through the Omen Paths? What's the set called? Send help, guys. Send help. Anyways, from the next set, anything that we get that upgrades this deck list? I don't think so, right? And that's also why I chose mono red dragons recently too, because we're not getting any new dragons, and there's not too much that we would get out of the new set for red that would actually help. I don't think, at least. We'll have to see though when it actually releases, and that's when I actually start learning the cards really well too. So mono black Skelebellies. I do like all 4 stabs in here because what stab ends up being, not only just great early removal, it's definitely no cut down, don't get me wrong, but it is a combat trick in some scenarios too, which we actually really saw matter in that last game versus the Screaming Nemesis. And there's going to be turn 2 Bristly Bills and turn 2 Tifas that you have to deal with no matter what. And there's going to be turn 1 Llanowar Elves that are going to be very tempting to stab as well. So all 4 of these make a lot of sense. The hand interaction, Duress to grab the Pinnacle Star Cage out of the opponent's hand. If you're up against Synthesizer, grab the Synthesizer, grab the Ultimas, the Day of Judgments, get the Deadly Cover-Up out of there, man. All 4 of these for a very good reason. We missed in that last game because the opponent was playing something really cool and really fun and different, just like a Gruul mid-range beatdown style deck list. I'd say most of the time Duress does not miss. Like, seriously, it probably misses 5% of the time. So if it does miss, what you get from it is seeing the opponent's hand and playing around what creatures they're about to find as well. The deck list drew very, very well. I really like that we got to see the Sunset actually push some good damage today too. I'd say it's probably worth the 4 of in here. Speaking of worth it, guys, how about like on the craft list or do not craft list? Go ahead and put it on the do not craft list, guys. Because number 1, we don't know what the next set will bring to shake up the meta. But number 2, it's a very specific style of deck list, isn't it? With the skeleton theme, and a lot of the Skelebellies that are worthwhile in here are rare or higher. So let's look though. Honestly, it's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be, with commons from Duress to Stab, uncommons from Forsaken, Minor, Intimidation Tactics, Bitter Triumph, and Timeline Culler. That's a good chunk of uncommons and commons, guys. Oh, Tinybones is mythic, actually. So Soulstone at least goes in other deck lists too, but cards like Case of the Stashed Skeleton might struggle to find a home outside of Skelebellies, even though there could be some really cool deck lists like Orzhov Tokens or something that would want a couple of these. Sunset Saboteur is one that I just need to play with more to see, but there could be other deck lists that this would belong in, like Rakdos Aggro, for example, or Golgari Aggro could be a thing. So yeah, I'm keeping my eye on it because even though it has that downside with that bottom ability, when it attacks, you put that counter onto a creature an opponent controls. You're really just looking at this as good value. That ward cost is really significant too. So Corpses of the Lost really won't go anywhere outside of Skelly Bellies, but there are going to be some mono black aggro deck lists that only run this and like one other skeleton, and you're really just pushing the aggro side of things for Corpses of the Lost being a 3/2 hasted creature that mono black can actually play. So that's something, I suppose, but you guys know what I'm getting at with the do not craft list, right? Then we got a couple Archenemy's charms, which again, in mono black, this could make a lot of different mono black lists, even mono black mid-range, mono black control, which is actually a really fun style of control deck list. If you guys haven't tried that before, I'm working on one currently. We'll see how many of the new cards from the next set I can squeeze into it. But Archenemy's charm, this is a good one. Luckily, we have a Sephiroth on the top end, and we do see this pop up in other builds. But if you're not playing those other builds too, then Sephiroth definitely is not worth the craft for this one. And then a couple Tinybones too. Again, outside of Skelly Bellies, we don't see Tinybones too often, but it does pop up from time to time, surprisingly. So, yeah. Yeah, put it on the do not craft list. However, guys, it felt pretty good. And if you can have most of this deck ready with your collection and you just had to trade out a few cards, then trade out those few cards. I think this would be well worthwhile at least visiting. If you only had 2 Sunset Saboteurs, for example, don't craft the other 2. Just live with the 2, be happy about it, go up a couple other creatures. Deep Cavern Bat, for example, would be a huge one in this deck list. So, and Deep Cavern Bat is a uncommon. It's an uncommon. Yeah, very nice. A great budget trade-in for this deck list, for sure. 21 mana felt pretty good in here, right? Soulstone Sanctuary as a 1-of is fine. I got a little worried that it was going to hold up the charm, but it's only 1. So even charm on turn 4 is fine. And there's only 2 charms and only 1 sanctuary, so it's not going to hold you up too often overall. Guys, let me know what you thought of the deck list down in the description. And remember, we built this together on Twitch. I really do. It does feel like we landed on something kind of decent here, right? It does feel that way. Boy, it drew really well, too. So, I don't know. Always tough to tell. And then also with the next set just looming right around the corner, potentially tomorrow, based on when this deck list goes up. Actually, probably tomorrow is when the next set comes out. So it's really hard to tell, and you just never know where the meta is going to settle. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Yeah. Either way, if you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you. And I will see you in the next video.